For those of you guys that don't know, I ruptured my Achilles, but I didn't rupture my mindset, right? Like a couple months ago, about end of July, I partially tore my Achilles. So it wasn't a full tear, so I didn't need surgery, thankfully. So I was in a cast for like 3 months, right? And when it happened, I was like, damn, like my whole progress is going to be gone. Gym gains is probably going to go down the drain. You know, I don't know if I'm going to be able to post on YouTube. You know, I didn't post for like 2 weeks. I was just in my head a lot. Yeah, man, it was just a rough time because it was like, bro, summer was just like, everything was just going on the up and up. And then boom, shit hit the fan. Everything was going downhill. And from this whole experience has taught me a lot of things, right? I realized, for one, you can't let adversity stop you from, you know, achieving your goals, right? Like, for example, like this injury, like, you know, it stopped me from posting videos. It stopped me from going to the gym for a little bit. You know, it stopped me from, you know, going to work, things of that nature, right? But it only stopped me because I let it, to be honest, right? For 2 weeks, you know, I just felt sorry for myself a little bit. I was acting, for the first time in a while, like I was starting to act like a victim. I was starting to act like, woe is me, yada, yada, yada. But then I realized, like, yo, like what separates winners from losers, victims from victors, is how they let adversity affect them, right? Losers dwell in the adversity. They relish in it. They make their losses, their hardships, they make it define them. It defines who they are, their whole being. But winners, they persevere. They push past it. Despite whatever hand life's dealt them, despite whatever cards life throws their way, they always find a way through. They always find a way out, right? And I think that's one of my greatest strengths. Like, through all the adversities that I go through, I always try and find a way to succeed. I always try and find a way to overcome them, right? And that's why I made that statement that, you know, I may have ruptured my Achilles, but I didn't rupture my mindset. I mean, 3 months later now, like, I'm out of the cast now. I'm able to drive again now. I'm able to do a lot of things now, but I'm still in physio. I'm getting back into it slowly. I'm working out again. It's modified though. Some stuff is modified in terms of like legs and stuff, but now it's just about recovery, physio, and slowly getting back into things that I used to do, right? And I was able to go back into the gym. Like, I went back into the gym, I think it was late September, October. That's when I was able to go back, and it was modified and all that stuff. But the point I'm trying to make though is that it was funny because when I was modified, here's where I always say, like, there's someone who's busier than you that's making it happen. Because I'm a guy out here who was injured, suffering an injury, but I was still going to the gym on modified, right? Obviously, if you're injured, you know, you should rest, recover. Unless the doctor says you're able to go, then you can go, right? But obviously, put yourself first. Make sure your doctor clears you first. But with that being said, there's people out here who will literally complain after an 8-hour shift. Oh, I'm too tired to go to the gym. But then there's a guy who's with a torn Achilles and he's still doing workouts, right? And you're at home sitting here, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that, it goes to that point that when you feel like you don't want to go, you feel like you want to be lazy, there's someone out there who's doing it and is in a worse position than you, right? And it just made me think, like, wow, like, you know, like, a lot of people take this shit for granted, right? People take this shit for granted because when I was injured and stuff, I was thinking, like, man, this might be the reality for a lot of people who, you know, can't even walk anymore. There's people out here who are probably at a very old age who can't even do anything anymore. And you're complaining that you're tired after an 8-hour shift about going to the gym. You're tired about betting yourself. You're lazy. In a couple months, the snow's going to fall and you're going to be wrapped up in a blanket with your Christmas cookies and Christmas sweaters and cookies and shit. And you're going to just, like, be a loser, man. Like, some people are just so comfortable with being losers. They're so comfortable with mediocrity, right? They just lie to themselves all day. They don't want to improve, right? Because they're lazy. Because it's so much easier to be average. That's why I hate this physique inflation narrative, where it's like, there's a physique inflation. A physique 20 years ago wasn't. That's just because social media shows you the 1% is like roided out bodybuilders. But in reality, go outside, go to Walmart, go to like Superstore, go to the mall. Everybody's average. Everybody's average. Because why? Because they make so much excuses. Oh, I'm a student. Oh, I work a full-time job, I do this, da 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 da. Everybody makes excuses for why they don't want to better their lives, but when they're actually making their lives worse, they find every opportunity to do so, right? And it just goes to show that you gotta start not taking this shit for granted, right? You only live one life, and it's not like you have to get this mindset of, oh, I have to go to the gym. It's I get to. This is actually a privilege to be able to run, walk, to be able to be physically active is actually a privilege in itself. There's people who are in your position who would kill to do what you're doing, right? And I know you remember probably watching this, oh, you're done, you're being a little dramatic, but nah, this is the truth, bro. Like, there's people who will literally kill to be in your position. There's people who probably don't even have legs anymore, and they would kill to be in your position. So why would you waste your potential? Why do you think in all my videos I always say there's nothing enlightening about playing small, right? There's nothing enlightening about not reaching your full potential. You should be striving every day, reaching your full potential. You should constantly be recreating yourself, molding yourself like clay, because you only live one life. You're only gonna experience this once, so you might as well make the most of it, right? And throughout this whole experience, it's really hammered home that message, like why I do what I do, right? It's because you only live one life, and you only get one chance to do it, right? And you just got to be grateful for what you were given, because it can be taken away from you like that, right? So you might as well make the most of it, right? Even when you're tired, even when you don't feel like it, you just got to do it because it's a privilege. You get to do it, and maybe one day, you never know what's going to happen. You may not be able to do the things that you used to do. You know what I'm saying? And the other thing too, before I end off, is just not letting these adversities get to you. I could have let this Achilles tear stop me from uploading. It did stop me for a little bit, for 2 weeks, but eventually I had that mindset shift. I was like, yo, I got to get back to it, right? I could have easily fallen victimhood. I could have easily, fallen off my fitness journey, yada, yada. I could have easily just fell victim and acted like a loser and let myself completely fall off and not do the things that I was supposed to do. Nah, that's what losers do. And I'm not a loser. I'm not a victim. I'm a victor. I'm a winner. And I assume if you watch my videos and subscribe to me for a while, you should already know how we move on this side. We're not victims. We're winners. We're not losers. We're winners. We don't make excuses. We just fight through. We persevere. We always make it out on top, right? No matter what life throws at us, right? We're not black pill on this side. We're actual winners. We actually do shit, right? We don't make excuses for why we can't. We make reasons for why we can. If you're new here and that sounds like something that you rock with, hit that subscribe button. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it's all about. It's about finding reasons for why you can instead of finding reasons for why you can't. And this whole experience just hammered home all the messages that I've been saying to you guys, right? It's just keep going, keep pushing, no matter what life throws at you, because you only get one life, so you might as well push through it, right? But that's all I really have to say, man. If you need help getting in shape and all that good stuff, hit that link in the description, book a one-on-one consultation, we'll have a conversation. We'll see if it makes sense to work together. We'll work on your mindset, nutrition, and your training plan, all those things, so that you can rebuild yourself into a man that commands attention and never bores the audience. Make sure you like and subscribe. And remember, like I'm always saying, there's nothing enlightening about playing small. I'm gonna catch y'all